Welcome everybody to the fifth episode of the second period, the only official, third period, sorry. Guys, we've been off for a week. A little bit rusty. We all had a lot of fun. We took vacation even though we didn't need it, but we'll get into that a little bit later. The third period, the official podcast of the NBHL. I am your host, Darren Basmajan. With me, again, second time in a row, is Sean Guerrero and Vasil Neshev. No funny nicknames this time because I don't remember what nicknames I'd given them. We were off last week, obviously. Apologies, kind of circumstances that are out of our control. Our goal is to have a podcast every single week from here on in until the end of the season. We are finishing off our look at all the divisions except with the exception of the Master Leagues and I think the Kids Leagues and the Mixed League, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. So we're finishing that off now, and then starting next week, we're going to go circle back around, kind of go look at every division again, kind of see where they're at. Since the last time we talked, a lot has happened in a lot of these divisions, so we're really looking forward to circling around and seeing all that happen. Let's jump right into it here. We've got three leagues we're going to be looking at. We're going to be looking in this order, and we're not crazy for doing this: Q, R, and then we're going to O. The reason why we're coming to O last is because it is the Larink League. It's a smaller league, so we'll just finish off with that one. But let's jump into Q right off the bat here. Sean, let's get into it. We've got number one spot, undefeated right now. We've got the Cinderella team, 6-0-1. Then you have the Fourth Liners at 4-0-2, also undefeated. GRNR at 4-1-1. Los Pollos Hermanos, a team I know very well, 3-2-1. Then GK Fluff, 2-3-1. Professionals, 1-5-1. Sunnyvale Snipers, 1-5-1. And finally, bringing up the rear, the Left Shark Squad. Looking at this right now, I see two teams that are definitely clearly on top. They're undefeated. Possibility of GRNR sneaking in there. Tell me, what do you think about the Cinderella team and the Fourth Liners? Are they legitimate top contenders, or are they just kind of benefiting on their schedule, or is it just a surprise for you?
No, it's a great question. I think if I look at both of them, and
there were like three questions in one, so you can unpack that a little bit.
Unravel that a bit there. I think the Fourth Liners are the real deal. I've seen these kids before. The captain, Steven Delactoire, he is a star. These guys are good ice hockey players, and they're transitioning well to ball hockey, and that's showing in the 4-on-2 for first season. That's unbelievable.
Yep.
Against Cinderella team is very good. They got some immense firepower up front, but how are they going to hold up down the stretch? You know, this is their second kick at the can, their second season. Are they going to be able to maintain that momentum? I don't know. They look good right now. They look very good, but I think other teams are going to start to identify the strong points in that team and start to look to shut them down. Whereas the Fourth Liners, they're young, they're fast, and they can play hockey. So I see them emerging as the team to beat in this league for sure, more than Cinderella.
Okay, well, we'll have to keep an eye on that. How about GRNR? Do you think that they're not too far back. They're only 1 point behind of the Fourth Liners. Are they a legit contender?
GNR is the Cinderella team, no pun intended here. They're actually like a combination of two other teams, the Wesley Snipes and the Matt Savage's team. I forget the name of it. He's going to kill me.
If you don't know, I definitely don't.
Exactly. The Sports. That's it. The Sports. So they've merged together under the moniker GRNR, and they're good. They have a lot of good players on this team. The fact that a new team with players that they don't really know too well working together and being 4-1-1 this early in the season is incredible. I think a lot of people didn't expect that. I didn't, but they've emerged to be a really, really good team. So you can't count them out at all. They're only going to get better.
And just to add on to that, I noticed on the roster, one of their top scorers right now, Marie-Glenn Mendoza. Yeah. I went to high school with him. He was a heck of an ice hockey player back in the day. So I'm not surprised to see him do that well. And I guess if they could keep going at the same pace they're going now, they're going to be, with the Cinderella team and Fourth Liners at the end of it.
That's a great point. And the Sports themselves were a very, very good team as well. So I should have expected that team to continue, but they're strong. They're strong.
Moving on to kind of like the middle tier, it's really not that deep, to be honest. There's Los Pollos Hermanos and GK Fluff. I think those are probably the two teams there. Any surprises? Do you think that they would do better? Do you think that they would do worse from that middle pack?
I don't know. GK Fluff surprises me.
I couldn't agree more. At first, I thought they might have a weaker roster than they usually do because they're known to have really good rosters all throughout the divisions they play as GK. But Yannick Pelletier is still there, Chris Brown still there, and Sanjay Gulati and Nets. You think they'd be a little bit over 500. But I guess maybe they haven't been there all the games, and hopefully they'll be able to wake up. But it's a surprise to see them under 500.
And Chuck's no fool. Chuck's the captain of this team. He's been. I mean, how many wins does this franchise have in terms of champions? I think up to 6 or 7 now across the board. They're not out. They're not out of the picture at all. I think it's a matter of retooling, kicking things up a little bit, and GK Fluff will start to emerge a bit. I mean, Los Polos, you can tell me, are you playing this year for them? Or
I'm not. No, they cut me. Yeah, they cut me.
Wow, Peter.
They cut me. I was like, it's kind of busy. I got, I'm part of a wedding. I have my own wedding this summer. I don't know how much I can commit, but definitely use me as a spare. And then they just
nothing.
3 weeks later, they're like, give me your jersey back.
But I knew who they were placed with, and this kid is good. We've seen him in the youth league. Mike D'Alessio. This guy is the real deal. Who was the guy that we said he's very much like?
There's two brothers. They play for Green Army. Anthony Marola.
That's it.
And I forget the other brother's name, but Anthony played a little bit more in our league, and he's just like a miniature version of this really big, strong power forward.
Exactly what.
Well, then they didn't replace me because I'm the slow, immobile, slow-thinking defenseman. So
exactly.
It's a hard thing to find, really.
Yeah, no. I mean, we saw this kid all season in the youth league. He is going to be very good. He's just like you said, a power forward, a lot of intensity every shift, and if he's leading the way in Los Polos, these guys can have a nice little fire to connect that team to go above what they've achieved so far.
Look, all jokes aside, I've played with these guys for the past 2 years. There's a lot of talent. Sometimes not the hockey smarts to match with it, but this is a bit of a different roster, and it's kind of looks like an amalgam of like all the best rosters they've had. So, which kind of has something to explain on the.
And they're soccer players, I think, for the most part. Is that a fair?
Look, they play like soccer players, a lot of them, if you know what I mean. But no, I mean it's just kind of like the prototypical like ball hockey team. You know what I mean? They're not cycling. They're not doing like in the higher divisions. You guys are, you guys get the higher divisions. You know how it is. A lot more cycling, a lot more tape to tape, and the ball goes faster than the person.
Set plays.
Yeah, this team is much more, let's drive, let's try and carry it ourselves, which works in the lower divisions sometimes. But if you're able to shut that down, then we'll see where it goes.
In this lower division, when you look at it, there's some very good teams here. And the one I'm going to point out, I know we haven't got there yet, but is Sunnyvale Snipers. The record, you're looking at 1-5-1. I think they have 2 out of the top 3 scorers in the league.
Yeah.
How can they be? They're learning.
Hey, look at their goals scored. They have 24. But look at the goals against.
That's something.
I mean, that's the problem there. I mean, when you're allowing 42 goals in 7 games, that's.
And I love their goalie. Randy's my boy. Like, I play with him on Tuesdays. He seems to be struggling a bit, but you're right. If they can bring
it could be defense too. You don't have to throw him under the bus.
That's true.
Saying.
You know what I mean? But
it's Randy Dunes we're talking about.
Randy Dunes, exactly.
Right. No, Randy has a capability to elevate his game. I mean, I've seen him win championships. I've seen him play at the top of his game, and I have a hard time realizing that it's him on this team. But
I know, I was shocked. If he finds his form, and if these guys playing the way they're playing, I mean, look at their last 2 games. They lost 7-6 to Cinderella team. That's a 1 goal against the top team. Yeah. And then they tied GK Fluff, who we know is not a 2-3-1 team. Yeah, they're a good team. So they're going to be my sleeper pick for to get into the playoffs and then do some damage.
Well, since you jumped into it anyways.
That's what I do.
You just go where you want to go. The organizer of the league is like, I don't care. We're moving on to the next tier. Professionals, Sunnyvale Snipers, Left Shark Squad. You talked a little bit about the Sunnyvale Snipers, but Professionals also tied with them at 1-5-1, and finally Left Shark Squad at 1-6. So those are kind of the bottom teams there. There are teams that are going to have to get things going now to try and make that push for the final playoffs, but at least none of them are out.
No, but the thing that happens to happen for Professionals is there's no secret formula for Professionals. It's their goaltending. Brendan, when Brendan is playing on his game, they're winning 2
full names. Full names for people who don't know everyone.
Sorelli, Brendan Sorelli.
There you go.
He's a star. His numbers last year were insane. I think he had a save percentage in the 90s. His goals against was like 2, and he's facing the most shots in the league.
Okay.
So he needs to find that form again. I don't know what's happened, but I think he's doubled his goals against average this season. He's at 4, something like that.
Yeah.
If he brings it back down to numbers he produced last winter season, Professionals are once again a contender. If he does not, I find they're going to slip and Sunnyvale is going to move up. Left Shark, they're struggling. I think they've had roster issues getting guys coming to the games. Their big piece is Benny Habib. Great player, great leader on defense, quarterbacks, a lot of plays. They're going to need him to help them step up their game. They're clearly like guys learning the sport, and I don't know how it's going to go right now. It doesn't look good for them. You can't win games when you're scoring 7 goals. In 7 games, it's not going to happen.
Need to add a game breaker.
They need to add somebody on offense to just switch it up a bit, produce a goal here and there every game. Otherwise, they're going to be in some trouble this season.
It's nice to see that they do have a win, though. However, with only 7 goals scored in 7 games, so I mean they can do it. They're just going to have to maybe buckle down a little bit more defensively, hopefully, I don't know if it's going to be adding a piece or maybe having guys step it up a little bit more offensively. But I mean, if they could win a game already with just 7 goals, they should be okay later on.
when you're in an 8-team league, you just want to make the playoffs. That's all you're looking to do. And
Yeah.
it's not as if they're out of the playoff picture. They're a win behind a playoff spot, right? So it can be done. They've got to believe it. And once the playoffs, anything can happen.
I mean, most important thing is if they have matchups facing those two teams that are ahead of them, that's really where they've got to step it up.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I don't want to say bring in ringers for those games, but because I mean, obviously with the cap league, there's only
It's
so
hard to
much you
do,
can do. But that's where you got to focus. And like you said, if the roster is showing some inconsistency, we've all played on teams, you know, where it's a struggle to. I'm playing on one right now, Crimerica.
Yep.
We're having a different roster every week, and it's hurting us.
Yeah.
But
Chemistry doesn't get built, you know.
that's it, especially, and you know, I'm not sure how new or recent this team is, but I mean, it's one of the biggest struggles is building chemistry and learning how to play this game
maintaining
properly.
it. Maintaining it
Exactly,
is
yeah.
huge. You
Yeah,
can have
it's-
one big game and then you know it
next
pulls
game,
off.
exactly.
But then momentum is a funny thing, right? You just get put two good games to back to back. Suddenly, hey, nobody can stop us,
Exactly.
right? So
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's-
I heard. Well, I saw actually, you guys had a big game this week, right?
Yeah, this was a big one for us. But again, a very inconsistent roster. We brought in some guys who were really good. They helped us out. But it was kind of, you know, when you win as a team. And that actually happened for us, which is great. But we're not talking about our division right now. So let's
We care about you, that's the thing.
well, if you knew me better, you really wouldn't. Q League, let's wrap it up here. Let's talk about some MVPs and key players. Sean, let's start with you.
I'm going to go with a goalie for fourth liners. I mean, you look at it. These
boy.
guys have. He himself has got what a .67 save percent goes against with a 95% save percentage. He is the story this season in this league. If you
Let's give him a name then.
oh, it's Kevin Sear. I think I said it.
You did, but I want to hear it again.
Yeah.
You're giving him all the love.
I know.
Give his name. You
I
got to
don't
keep
know.
mentioning his guys like hearing their names.
Oh, I get it, Kevin. You're fantastic.
There you go.
He's
Awesome.
Four
Very-
goals against in 6 games.
That's really good.
I
That's
haven't seen
incredible.
that.
Yeah.
And it's not as if he's not facing shots. He's he's got 90 shots against. It's not like they're obviously strong defensively.
Yeah.
But he is shutting the door when they're there.
And you always got to wonder about quality of shots there too, right?
Agreed.
So that plays a part too. But either way, when
way.
you're allowing those numbers, that means
Less than a
you're
goal
doing
against
something
in
right.
ball
Yeah.
hockey is insane.
Yeah.
It's very impressive.
Especially again in the lower leagues, much more wide open game.
Yeah,
in my
exactly.
experience. So
exactly.
yeah.
And on offense, I got to go with Matt Rumatolis. I don't really know this guy that well, but he's on a team who's 1-5-1, and he's up there in the scoring leaders.
Yeah.
Big
So,
time too. Most
yeah.
goals in the league.
Exactly, he is. So that's a guy that I think if he's going to be scary.
So I don't know if you guys like allow trades, but I think Left Shark Squad and Sunnyvale Snipers, they've got some needs that they can fill for each other. Here.
Exactly.
They can make a trade, some offense going one way.
The
guys.
deadline passed, but next time.
It's okay, man. You can make it happen. How about you, Vasil?
Yeah, on my end, I'm going to stick with Murray Glenn Mendoza. If he has this many points this early in the season, and I'm I'd say I'm 95% sure that it's his first time ever playing.
Yeah.
He's only going to get better. He's only halfway through the season. He's already guaranteed to be point a game by the end of the season. So I'm looking
nice.
at 2 points a game, maybe. He might get even better. Who knows? And JR&R are in a good spot for him to be able to excel.
Yeah.
Saying his name is Murray Glenn Mendoza.
Murray-Glenn. Murray Glenn.
Maybe his parents were big Boston Bruins fans. Glenn Murray.
Glenn Murray, yeah.
Yeah. If he's got that snipe, he'll be okay.
A little
But-
too old, I think, for that. But
Well, you never know. I guess retroactively, maybe it's just Murray, and then they threw in
no,
the.
I
Glenn.
mean, like Glenn Murray was
Yeah.
too young for Murray Glenn.
Yeah, that's what I'm
A bit
saying.
boring,
The timeline doesn't work out, but I'm saying, maybe it was just Murray, and they're like, hey, Glenn, go Bruins. No, I'm kidding. I hate them. All right. We're all Habs fans here, right?
Yeah,
Right.
we're all good.
Okay,
we're all friends
good.
here.
Sorry, I'm sure there's some in the league who are watching this and like, more homers, but
Yeah, well, the Gurner Matt Savage is a Boston fan, but we'll forgive him for it.
you
yourself,
speak for
yeah.
yourself. Yeah, exactly. Let's jump down to the R League now. This is a big league here.
Yes.
We've got 12 teams. We'll go through them quickly here, and quite a bit of really going to be some good battles going all the way through, I think. We've got the Red Knights at 12 points, Smoking Aces at 11, Stonecutters at 10, VIP 96 at 10, Puckers at 10, Crips at 10, Quebec No Deeks at 8, Manchester United at 6, Zodiac Aerospace at 5, Beer Belly Boys at 4, and then Reapers and
Dewars, yeah.
Dewars?
Dewars,
It's supposed to be like Dewars, but not?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I gotcha. At 0 as well. So, guys, let's start at the top. That's always the best place to start.
Yeah.
That's where I like to start. Top is very top-heavy, this league, from what it looks like. I mean, you've got 6 teams that are 2 points apart.
Yeah,
that's
it's insane.
That's crazy. That's unheard of for me.
No,
I mean,
I play in this league.
Yeah.
I'm the team Beer Belly Boys named after me. But it's a great league. It's really, really tight. The numbers speak for themselves, and it's really the dynamics which have emerged thus far. Now that we're like halfway through the seasons, are really, really fascinating. I mean, Red Knights have been in the league forever. and they're really just showing the experience and skill and knowledge of the game really pays off in the long run. They've got a Hall of Famer on this team, just inducted last summer.
2014, I believe.
Exactly, last summer.
Yeah.
Mathieu Dufour, and him and his brother Thierry, the Dufour, the Dynamos, man, they're just so good, and they're really demonstrating how capable they are as players in this league, and that's why Red Knights are sitting at the top right now.
Yeah, those guys usually play for Ghost Attack, right? And if you look them up all the time, they have some really impressive numbers altogether. So it's nice to see that they can still produce at this pace.
Exactly.
You know, I think they're Thierry is first in the league in scoring with some really nice numbers.
Yeah. And Matt's right there to support him, getting all the assists.
That's
Unless he's grabbing apples, you know.
The free assists.
Yeah.
How about, so then we have, again, we're talking about the top 6, really.
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous top 6.
Yeah.
So we spoke a bit about the Red Knights, a lot of veteran experience, right? You've been there for a long. How about the Smoking Aces?
Smoking Aces is interesting. I hope Andrew's listening. Smoking Aces is the evolution of some of the players from our youth league. When you look at their roster, they've got 3 guys who are strong players from our youth league.
Understatement. They were really the most dominant players in the entire division.
And ironically, they played for the captain of this team. As he was the coach of their team, the Dream Team, and now they've emerged and somehow appeared on his roster. They've got Mike Dobby, Sam von Schweinitz, and Alex Doré. And these 3 guys are just, I've played against them. It is unpleasant. They're young, fast, and highly skilled. And
I hate young kids.
Oh my
I
God.
hate you all so much.
Yeah.
Like, you see, Eagle at Master Control is waving, but he's not a young kid. Even when he was young, he played old. like myself. I know what you're talking about. I hate you guys.
Yeah.
Why are you fast and talented and relentless?
No, so
leave some for us.
I mean, Smoking Aces have had some tough seasons, and these guys have really lifted the morale of the team. They really give them hope. I played against them. The whole team is pumped up. The kids are pumped up, and they're just really they're passing it at a level that is just not seen before at this.
Currently leading the league in goals scored as well at 36, which is a pretty decent number.
Exactly.
Stonecutters 5-2. VIP 96 5-2. Pucker is 5-2. Give me the best one out of these 3.
Man, that's tough.
We don't want to make it easy on
no,
you.
you're not making it easy on me.
You took a week off.
Stonecutters are new for me. I mean, Robert Bellini, he's new to me. I mean, they've impressed because they're new. But I'm going to go with VIP 96, Martin Ferland.
Cédric Beauchamp.
That's it.
Goal game player.
That's it. Right?
Overpoint game. When you have 2 top guns like that could produce in such a little league, you're bound to stay at the top somehow because you're going to lose some, but over the long run, you're going to offensive consistently really helps.
And they've played before. These guys have been in the league for a long time. Where Stonecutters are new to me, and Puckers are not brand new, but they're still emerging.
Recent.
I'm very happy with the result. They're obviously turning things around vis-a-vis previous seasons. But VIP have been there before. They've done that. I just think that's going to give them the edge in the long run against those other 2 teams. So if you want me to ask who's going to come out of that group ahead, it's going to be VIP 96.
Anyone who's looking on the camera here, when I'm tapping the mic, it means move a little bit closer.
The mic, yeah, sorry.
It's okay. I think people probably caught most of what you said there, but just
okay. So basically, what I came down to, VIP 96 is going to be between Stonecutters and Puckers, the team to emerge.
All right. Well, that's your pick, Vasil. Pick one. You don't have to have actual reasons.
No, out of those 3, I actually prefer going with a 4th, Crips.
Okay.
Or a team run by Drew Dorweiler, who, I mean, even for the whole length of this show, I wouldn't have enough good things to say about him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's amazing.
He's rescued animals.
No, he's just such a great guy. He gets guys to play on his team all the time, just as spares, picks them up, drives them home. I mean, if you need a favor from him, you ask him. No hesitation.
Okay, so what was that name again?
Drew. He's running a team in this league for a very long time. They've won in the Q, I think, in 2010.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, the last time they won. And I mean, so he's known the success, but he's also been a big contributor to the league for many years, always putting a team in and always making sure that there's enough guys that show up. And I mean, they're sitting at 4-2-2 right now, but I kind of like, even with the game behind VIP Stonecutters and Puckers.
I mean, they're still in a good spot. It's a big league, so I mean, regardless where you finish, given where he's at, I think they'll be all right.
Yeah.
But definitely, I mean, hats off. Anytime you can consistently put together a team. Look, I've captained a team. You've captained teams.
It's hard.
I'm assuming you've captained teams as well. It is the worst job. I have another 2 guys here who've captained teams in other leagues, but it's just
not easy. It's not easy. It takes a special person to put it together.
Or
stay optimistic. After several seasons, you don't win all the time. It's hard.
And they've had a couple of rough seasons, the Crips. So for this is a great result for them. You're absolutely right.
I would say it takes a special person or a masochist.
Yeah, one of the 2. right?
Yeah, or both.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. All right, so then let's move down now. Again, we're not moving that far down because everything is really tight.
Yeah.
Quebec Nordiques have 8 points. Manchester United winning the team of the best named team in the division for me at 6, and then Zodiac Aerospace 5 and Beer Belly Boys at 4. Let's kind of unpack that lower tier of teams there.
Yeah, I mean, Quebec Nordiques these guys are new team, but like they've all been in the league before. This guy David Brochu has emerged as this very, very good player. So, but we played against them. The way we summarize Quebec Nordiques, very athletic.
Yeah.
But they're just lacking that finish, if you will. They're just missing a little bit that's going to take them to the next level, I think. I think they're really just, they're running around you, but, they're just missing the net and everything like that. So if they could focus their offensive efforts, they will be much better.
So it's like a team of Jan Boulisses, basically.
That's it, exactly.
Very exciting to watch, but it's just not going in.
That's it.
All right.
Manchester United, new team, brand new to the league. They've got a guy, though, that I played against, Jamal Stevens. It's not even funny. I've never seen a human being run that fast in my life. Like when he gets the ball in the corner, our defense are already running back into our zone because they know they need to close the gap, and the only way to do that is run ahead of him. If this guy somehow works on the finish, his first move is unbelievable. He will beat any defenseman with the first move. It's the second that puts him into trouble. And yeah, he's too close to the net, fires it over. But if this guy gets it together, he's already up there in the leading scorers.
I was going to say you're a little rough on him. He's on the goal of the game right now.
Though? Because he has the potential. This guy is really, really good. I mean, I've seen a lot of players. I watched this game on the bench, and I said, I'm not going out with this guy. I'm not that crazy. He's going to be very good, very good. So, but the thing is, they're a one-trick pony. They're really relying on him to get their goals. I mean, how many of the goals? He's got 7 goals already, and as a team, they've got 20.
So over a third of the goals.
For one guy, they're really relying on him, and I'm sure he's generating a lot of the other offensive chances, right?
Yeah, not many assists, but I'm sure he's part of the play somehow.
That's
Maybe
it,
just
right?
taking away coverage.
He's forcing the turnovers. So that's my concern with that team versus Quebec Nordiques is their depth is more depth, right, in terms of the roster. Zodiac Aerospace, one of my favorite teams. Konrad Strelznik is the captain of that team. My favorite player on that team has got to be Conrad Collins, a defenseman. He's rankable potentially. He's just a quarterback, never out of position. But they're missing their top gun, which was Mike Benarosh.
Yes, I've played with Mike in the past.
They can't use him in this level because of the cap, which is why we have it. Because when they do have him, he's scoring 2 or 3 goals a game, right?
Minimum. He's a really, really, really good offensive player and also a little elusive. Like he's hard to keep an eye on all game.
So I'm curious. They're 2-5-1, which is amazing. I want to see how they do without a big puzzle piece like that in the picture. I mean, how long is that going to last? Hopefully the rest of the season. But they obviously got to find somebody to step up and replace him. And do they have that? I'm not really seeing anyone emerge from that team as a top sniper.
I mean, if you look at it, just look at their goals for. There's 2 teams that are winless and they're at the bottom of the pack, but beyond that, they're the lowest goal scoring team.
Exactly.
So I mean, that's what happens when you have such a great player. You kind of you get used to it. You don't think that it's your role to go to the net, or it's not your role to take that shot.
Exactly.
So somebody else has got to step up. But the good news is they have time, and they're still in a pretty decent position to do so.
Yeah, it could be scheduling too. I mean, with all these top teams, you're gonna have to lose some games, whether you like it or not.
Speaking of losing games, the Beer Belly Boys.
Yes.
I'm not gonna ask you because you play on them. Give me a little. We'll come back to him where he can give an actual thought. But talk to me about Sean as a player. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I love Sean as a player. He's not easy to play against because he has a good intellect and he reads. He knows the rosters. He knows.
I thought you were going to say he's a goon and he knows.
No, I don't think I've ever seen him take a penalty. I think I've seen him score more goals and take penalties. So they're really spoiled. Actually, they have one of the top. Well, he was the top player, I would say, in the youth league this year, Sam Momini. Amazing player, over goal a game in this league. I think he's 18. He might be 17.
He's turning 18.
Yeah, but he's big for his age. He's tall, a really, really heavy shot because he's not that heavy, but the shot itself is very impressive.
He's got the Pierre Dagenet thing going on.
Yeah,
heavy shot.
Really good release. Really good release. Really fast and really good hands. I'm not surprised he's over goal a game, but I thought he'd have a little bit more points considering his other buddies. Not buddies, but guys he's played against, Alex Doré, SGK and Michael Dobby are.
Well, he's playing with
slightly
me.
ahead.
That's the difference, right? He's not playing with young guys who kick up with him. I'm just like
Yeah.
chasing with my tongue hanging out, trying to get there to the net.
You're like, I'll be the defensive forward.
yeah, exactly. I'll stay high. I'll stay high.
He's the kind of guy that does a lot of it on his own. I mean,
Yeah.
he'll score like shorthanded goals. He'll cut a pass and he's so fast that he'll go on a breakaway and he'll roof it. Or
Those are always useful to have.
Oh, it's not bad.
they're great to have. I'm
Yeah.
sure. Like I said, they're spoiled to have him.
Yeah.
But
And we got Randy at the backbone. Like
All right,
that's.
so now we'll come to you. You can talk about your team.
Well, he knows Randy too, right?
Randy Dunas,
Randy's,
yeah.
Randy's playing very well for this team, and that's as you saw. Like when Randy's on his game,
he could win. He
Yeah.
could win everywhere he wants. He's a really nice guy too. I mean, you
Yeah.
want to play for him, even if he's having a bad game. It doesn't happen that often, but even if he is, you want to block those shots. You want to play for him because he's just always smiling. You always want to play for a guy like that.
He lifts the team around. Like our
Exactly.
defense, like they get pumped up when Randy gets pumped up.
Exactly. Complete opposite of a goalie that Beaver tails his stick after a bad goal. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, he'll apologize. You'll be like, no, don't worry about it, Randy. It's okay. And you want to get him back. So, I mean, today, unfortunately, we haven't had much. His teams aren't doing that well, but I'd like to see him turn it around there.
You left out the secret weapon, which is me. That's the,
Sure.
there's no secret. It's
What you see is what
it's a
you get.
dud.
Yeah.
No, I mean this basically was a team of individuals that we put together, and I got a great group of guys playing together. We're young, as a general rule. I think I lift the average age up a bit. That's what my role. But our top line with Andrew Cabral, Chris Nikas, and Sam Momini. That's what we're relying on. We got Adrian Ben and Joel to his last name's long. I forget what it is actually, but
That's a good teammate right there.
Yeah, no, it's not good. I'm a bad captain, but those guys are a great second line, shutdown line. But we need Sam, Andrew, and Chris to score. And Sam's missed a couple of games, and you see it. It hurts our team. He's
It's
just
a given. It's a given.
so
Any team he's
dynamic.
on, it'll hurt if he's not there.
Yeah. So are we out of our goal as a team? Like we know we're new. We just want to get that 10th and last playoff spot, and then anything can happen in playoffs. Everyone comes. Our bodies are there. Who knows what can happen? But that's what we're banking on.
So then we got two teams that are already 2 games behind the pack, which is really rough, especially for the Dewars, who are an extra game back because they've played 7 and the Reapers have only played 6. Again, they're in a tough spot now, but can either of these teams jump up and take that final playoff spot? I mean, for the Reapers, it really doesn't look good. I mean, they've only scored 7 goals in 6 games. That's rough.
You're not going to win games. You're only scoring
Yeah.
that much offense. I mean, I know Zach. I know the captain, Kaladi, and the last season was much better. I don't know what's happened this year. I don't know if it's been a body thing. I don't know if they're just didn't adapt well to some of the teams that they're facing here. Like, yes, it's the R League, but there's some good teams here. So maybe they weren't anticipating the level of competition that they're up against right now. It's just the key for them is not to get discouraged. Like you said, when a team of 12, a league of 12 teams, you're just fighting for 10th.
Yeah.
That at that point, like 2 or 3 wins, and you're in the running, right?
Yeah, like Darren said before, you win 2, you feel invincible, and next thing you know, you could knock off a top team.
That's it. So their matchup against Deers and Reapers, their matchups against each other are going to be critical. It's a 4-point game. It literally is. So
It's playoffs or bust.
that's it, exactly. So I mean, it's really going to be the 4 teams battling for the last spot. Is going to be Zodiac, Beer Belly, Reapers, and Deers. Who's going to come on top? Anyone could. 2 wins is not that much.
It's not, but it's also it's difficult because
They
a
need
lot
their
of
next
a
win
lot of
this
teams
week.
will play against each other and get points that way too. So
That's it. Next week, these guys need to win.
Yeah.
They really do to start turning the ship around. I don't know who they're up against off by heart, but depending who that is, they need that. And Reapers got to find a way to score. You can't win with 7.
It's just half the season too. I mean, you got to remember, yes, they're not scoring much, but I mean, one team go 5-2 the first half, 2-5, or
Yep.
in this case, let's say 1-5
Yeah.
in the second half, and
It could change.
the opposite for the bottom teams as well.
Let's look at MVPs and key players for this massive league. Sean, give me your thoughts on somebody who's going to be the key player when we come back at the season and really look at it and say this was the guy who made a difference.
It's going to be, I think, Thierry Dufour on Red Knights. I mean, he's got the experience. He's clearly shown he's still got the finish. And I just think it's an intangible quality that when somebody's been in the league so many years, has faced so many different types of competition, they're going to be unflappable. Like, they're not going to be like shocked or surprised. You're not going to catch them off guard. And he's a guy who, even though you know who he is and you can mark him, he's still going to score on you. So, and I think like that's going to separate him from the other elite players in this league, and that's why Red Knights are at the top, and that's why I think they're going to stay at the top for the majority of the season, if not all of it.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job of leading them. 3 goals, 3 game winners in 6 games, 11 goals. So
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, 3 game winners out of the 6 they've won, and 11 goals in 7 games. So obviously he's still able to execute. But I'm gonna go with Alex Dawe for a top player in the league. I'm thinking Smoking Aces maybe could outrun the Red Knights given their age, but it's gonna dwindle down. I mean, he's 4 points behind Sval for the league lead right now, but he could do that in half a period. You know, like it.
Yeah.
Those young guys on Smoking Ace are really, really, really good, and they complement each other well. So I guess it's gonna be tough to see which tandem's gonna do better.
Yeah. And that's on the offensive side. If I jump in on the defensive side, the goaltender for Puckers. This is where the Puckers, it sort of explains a bit their success, is Joe Cipriano has a 1.2 goals against and a 92% save percentage. That is
Impressive.
You win championships with that, right? Hey,
Right.
Montreal Canadiens, Carey Price winning every freaking trophy available to him.
Yeah.
That's how you win it. You know, now they win a cup, but when you're that secure in the goal, you're playing with the level of confidence, right? And that's obviously what's going on with Puckers. So Joe could be a wild card there in terms of league MVP as a player.
Not just that, you can take more chances. Your
that's
defensemen
it,
can join
right?
the rush a bit more. Your forwards don't necessarily have to stay back as far
Exactly.
deep.
It's
You
like
know,
when you have poker and you got all the chips. You're
Yeah.
able to like just
You're-
attack, right? And that's what these guys are able to do with Joe in the back.
All right, well, let's attack the O League here as we're running
Yep.
a little bit short on time here. We've gone a little bit long, but those were 2 pretty big leagues. This is a much smaller league
Yep.
here. So with the O League, we've only got 5 teams, but they're playing in Larink, which is obviously a smaller division. It's 4-on-4 hockey. And so first of all, we have Easy Company at 4-1, Black Dragons at 3-1-1, Sonic at 3-3, Polar Bears at 1-3-2, and then Fighting Saints at 0-3-1. This is a division that means a lot to me because we actually won. Crimerica won this division several years ago. So it's 5 teams is a little bit lower than I like to see it, but at the same time, it's such a tight surface that every game is competitive. I find, and it makes for very, very exciting games, very exciting hockey. Let's start off at the top here. The top 2. Well, I mean, there's 5 teams. We can go
Yeah,
through
we
them
can go
all.
through them all, yeah.
Easy Company. Let's start with them. They're 4-1 right now.
So Easy Company is a great story because Easy Company has played very competitive hockey in our league before. They typically play in 8 to 10 point leagues.
Yeah, F over the last 3 summers I
exactly,
played against
right?
them often with the Man
Yeah,
Clan.
and their main issue always was bodies.
Right.
They'd be showing up to games with like 7 guys, 6 guys. So they're like, forget about it. Let's go 4-4 where the body issues are not an issue. And like, oh, look at this, we're 4-1.
Yeah.
So that's really like the Easy Company story is that bodies was always an issue. Now those skilled bodies are on a surface that they are exploiting. They're obviously the team to beat in this league. David Nemerov is a captain, one of the best playmakers I've ever had the
Very
pleasure
good,
to
very
play
good.
with. Oh my God, this guy's vision is unparalleled. He's not going to score you 13
Yeah.
goals a season, but he's going to rip up the league in assists.
Matt Lacroix, however, will.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
the
that guy,
definition
yeah.
of a power forward with finesse. He's a bit of, I wouldn't even say heavy, he's just a really big guy, but really, really, really soft hands and great release. Every time I've played against him in the 5-on-5, he's scored a goal against us, so I'm not surprised to see him over goal a game here. And if he has Nemerov feeding him, he should finish still at the top.
Yeah.
How about the Black Dragons? 3-1-1. They're just a point behind Easy Company here. You're very high on Easy Company, but how about Black Dragons?
Black Dragons are another team that can do some real damage. I mean, they're basically like a derivative of the CTH, which Vassal I think learned. Finally.
Right, remember that time we covered CTH? You wanted me to find out what it stood for? Chinatown Hockey, because they started playing near St. Laurent Street many years ago.
And that's why he's still here and Rehan isn't. Either that or you're more comfortable with these divisions, but let's go with that story because he did his homework. All right,
Exactly.
Chinatown Hockey, I like it. All right, Black Dragons.
Yeah,
though.
so these guys are seasoned 4-4 players. The
Right.
captain Alexandre Khan has taken this team, cultivated it, and they're really just emerging to be very strong players. I mean, CTH has been 4-4 team before,
Right.
so this is not like a new surface that
Not
they're
at all.
adapting
Not
to, right? And they've got Fred Chow, and
Yeah.
4-4, this guy is a machine.
Oh, even 5-on-5. Fred Shaw is just an amazing player. He plays goalie as
Plays
well.
goalie as well.
He can play defense. He's an offensive threat. When he plays in a middle pack league, he's usually in the top 5. Just a great, I guess he just loves ball hockey because he could play every single position. And
Does he ref too?
and, not
Probably
that I know
will at
of.
some point, huh?
Yeah.
Fred, if you want a ref.
Something to look at. I'm
Yeah.
just putting that out there.
And they've got Alama. I mean, I think that this
Yeah.
team is going to be very offensively heavy. I mean, they're up there in the goal scoring, so I'm not surprised by that. And that's their game. You got Fred, Allen. That team is going to be meaner on defense. Like this team. Mina
See,
Patel.
you say that offensively, but every time I've played against CTH or Black Dragons, because I played against Black Dragons the year we won on the 5-on-5, They're really hard to play against
they're
defensively. Dive against every shot. They could outrun you for some reason. Even though they're older, they just run with everyone and they just get in your face. It's not that they have the most skill, even though they have those few top guys. They just compete all the time.
They play 60 minutes in a 50-minute period.
Exactly.
Like, a game,
that's the best way to say it. That was perfect.
And in a 4-on-4 league, compete level I find is very important.
Yes,
Because
right.
if it's such a short distance that really if you just stop paying attention for a second,
You're out of the play.
it's it. You're done. And things happen quick, so it's good. The effort will take them very far away. Plus, if you got talent to go, well, hey, that's why they're 3-1-1.
Yep.
Moving on now at 500, we've got Sonic. They're 3-3 right now. Again, they're only 2 points out of the lead.
They're
but
not out of it. These guys, I mean, one of the most electric players on 4-on-4 is their top player, Ali Youssef. This guy is his shot is insane, and he's got the speed and agility, which is not necessarily critical on 5-on-5, because there's enough room for someone to catch up. But 4-on-4, if you generate some space because of your speed and
Just
moves,
2 steps gives you
a scoring opportunity. And this guy snipes. Sonic has played 4-on-4 like 6 or 7 seasons in a row, if not more, probably 8. They're not out of this game. They've been there. They've done that. They played him against much tougher competition than what's in the league right now.
Right. That's what I was going to say.
Recruits.
3-3 does seem a little low, but they probably have to play each of Easy Company and Black Dragons.
That's it, So and then sometimes because of the teams, they're playing double headers.
That's true.
So that
scheduling is a big thing.
The scheduling for these guys, right? So Easy Company is definitely a major contender in this league. They play playoff hockey. They in the regular season they take things a bit more lackadaisical. They still want to win, but when they come to playoffs, it is like all business.
Sonic, yeah.
Sonic, yeah. Absolutely, sorry.
No.
Yeah, but so they're going to be a darn good team. Their offensive prowess is the best probably amongst all these teams.
Okay, then we have the Polar Bears, who are at 1-3-2, the dreaded ties, again rearing their ugly heads. What about this team here? Only one win, obviously, is not a successful thing, but at the same time, they're really not that far out of it.
No, they're not. I would say the Polar Bears are the poor man's Black Dragons. You know what I mean? They're the same style of hockey. They're just missing that Alan Ma and Fred Chow. They're the exact same team in terms of effort level, and they're shut down. Like they give you no space. You're not getting any time with the ball. They just now need to generate some offense. I'm pretty sure if I look down, they're scoring. There you go, 23 goals. They're not. They're not generating those scoring chances or not capitalizing on the scoring chances that a Black Dragons team will. But they play the identical game of ball hockey, and I think they've had some goaltending issues this year in terms of like getting a goalie every single game. But if they solidify that piece, get that one guy who can be the legitimate scoring option for them,
a big boost basically.
Then Polar Bears are up there just as Black Dragons are.
Yeah, I don't see them trailing that far behind. I mean, they're picking up points. Right now they're in the playoffs, and they're also scoring. I mean, not as much as the top three teams, but as long as they keep picking up points and not falling too far behind, like the Fighting Saints in this case. But the Fighting Saints, it's pretty easy to explain. They're missing a few big guys that they had before. You mentioned Eric Da Silva only played one game. I mean, I know him as one of the best defensemen on any team we ever play against. Trailer Park Boys. He's just a great ball mover and really fast.
He's a guy that basically gave us the idea to like rank players differently 5-on-5 versus 4-on-4, depending on who you are, because he is elite on a 4-on-4 surface. If they can get this guy to play more games and qualify, they are not out of the picture. Eric, I think he had 26 goals last time he played
as a defenseman. I bet. Yeah,
right?
It's crazy. And his playmaking is even better than his scoring touch.
And so he adds two significant elements to this team. Is one, the offensiveness to it, and the shutdown component because he's such a good defenseman. So you get him on board on this team and qualify him, they'll be a nasty surprise for a team in the playoffs.
Yeah, well, hopefully they could get also one of his best buddies back, Scott Braganza.
Yes.
He's a buddy of mine as well.
Scott, that's
always
huge.
Put up really big numbers in this league. Whatever team he's played for, the Jets, Dynamite, whatever team he's played for, he's always been a huge offensive threat. And him and Eric together on the 4-on-4 surface is just... they wouldn't lose a game for the rest of the season if those two guys were really on every single game and ready to go.
And I think they've had some goaltending issues, and I see Mark Ronaldo has played a game for them.
Oh, that's a good sign.
And if they can get this guy to play more games for them, I mean, his save percentage that game was 90%, 91.
And, I mean, speaking of Mark, one of his biggest things is he does not flinch at a shot. You could be shooting 100 miles an hour, literally, with a ball, and he's not even going to move. He's just going to wait for it to hit him. So 4-on-4, where the shots are the biggest assets, That is huge to have a goalie that wants to face those shots and isn't going to be afraid of them or anything like
Mark, play for Fighting Saints.
Qualify at least.
He's a great goaltender. He's really...
he's good as a player as well, but he's really played a lot more the last few years, 2-3 years as a goalie, and he's just
he's on muffled,
impressive.
He's shavers. He's on a few teams.
I've wound up a slap shot from like just outside the hash marks, like, you know, almost hoping to hurt him. Like, okay, just let it through. No, he just takes a step forward to block it. It's crazy.
So all was not lost for Fighting Saints. If they can get some of these pieces into their puzzle, then I really think they can.
Just those 3 guys alone would be astronomical.
Yeah. So you guys in the last few teams have really talked about a lot of guys who could potentially have an impact. Let's talk about guys who are having an impact so far.
Okay.
If we're looking at MVPs and key players, who do you think from the guys who've actually consistently been there right now, who do you foresee potentially as being the top players in the O-League?
Hard to argue Ali Youssef.
Yeah, I mean, if he's keeps his head in the game and stays out of it, because that's what against Ali, get him in the box. He plays with a fire and passion, because that's what makes him so good. But that also makes him potentially a liability for his team, because if he's in the box, he's hurting you twofold. One, your best player's on the surface, and 2, you're down a guy for a penalty. Right. So he has that potential, but David Nemiroff for me is him and Fred. I think when those 2 guys are on a team, they're just that much better. David manages the bench. He makes those plays that make other guys better, and Fred just gives you hope in every single game, right? I mean, he just has the ability to generate stuff out of nothing, and he's the guy for Black Dragons. I think without him, that's a totally different team. Yeah. So that's why I think he is a key. Like, if you want to talk about team MVP, like most impact to their team, I got to give it to Fred.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's type or something, but 0 assists in 7 games doesn't sound like Fred. I mean, he's averaging almost 2 goals a game, so at least he's still putting up numbers. But I know him more as like a team player that'll block the shot, create the turnover, and he does have a lot of finish. But it's surprising to see. No assists so far. I think someone who's going to benefit a lot from David Nemiroff's play and might end up passing him later in the season is Matt Lacroix, because of the type of surface it is. Yeah. And he just needs to take 2 steps to get to the net and that quick wrist shot. So...
And at the end of the day, Laurent, goaltending wins it. I've seen championships lost because of goaltending, because the shots come from, like, you get 40 shots a game sometimes, right?
And they're all good shots.
And they're all good shots, right? So you go down, boom, 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 4-5 nothing. It's hard to climb back sometimes, right? Mentally, not just like actually physically getting the goals. It's mentally, like, you find yourself in such a chasm of a hole that you're like, can I get out of this thing? So the goaltenders are going to be asked to step up, and who's going to emerge as the league's best goaltender? It's not right now too obvious for me, and I want to see who's going to really step up and make that claim as I'm the best goalie in this league right now.
All right, well, that's it, guys. We finally made it through all the leagues that we said we were going to make it through. I think I wasn't convinced we were going to make it through, to be quite honest, but it seems like we have now. We're finally going to be able to kind of loop back around, and so this format now is done. We don't care anymore. We can talk about playoff races, which are awesome. We can kind of see where we're at and really see the storylines that have developed. Some of the teams that are lower down, sorry, it's not great, but we can't focus on every team. It's just not possible in this type of format. But what that means is, step up. If there's no more exciting thing for people who are following a game than to see a team make that final push and try and make that playoff spot or try and win that top spot. It's the best part of the season for me as a player, as a fan, all of the above. I'm sure you guys agree. Even if you don't, I'm not letting you speak because I haven't shut up in about 45 seconds or so. Guys, final thoughts before we jump into this fun part of the season, the playoff stretch. These guys, we spoke a lot about them. We are going to get back to them. We're going to loop around. But just now that we're 6-7 games into the season, thoughts on the season so far? Vasil, let me start with you.
One word, momentum.
Right.
And that's what's going to help whichever team is going to get to the top. It doesn't matter how you started, it's how you finish the season. And some teams have really had a chance to turn it around since we spoke about them last time. So I'm looking forward to discussing that.
And maybe we could take some credit for it. Maybe we're the ones who pushed them to do it.
Right?
Call them out,
No, other than that, it would be the last 3 games of the season are really the biggest thing. So those, it's going to be really exciting to see some of these teams hopefully step up to the plate.
Yeah, if you're not sure what you're doing with your team, you got to figure it out now. You don't have enough time to install a whole new system or something like that. Just figure it out, make it work the best you can. crazy things happen all the time. You've seen it from start to finish. Sean, your final thoughts?
We call this period the grind because this is a time of year where people are going on vacations, rosters are really getting shuffled up and around, and if your team can persevere through this tough period, you can really make leaps and bounds within your league and emerge as a true contender. That's why the season's never over till it's over, and this period of time, the next 4 or 5 games, if you can get your bodies in place, you're going to see depleted teams, and you can really make a push. So it's about the grind. It's all about getting through the grind.
All right, well, you heard it there, guys. Thanks for tuning in again. Thanks for all the great feedback you've been giving us, positive or negative. Either way, it helps us give a better show for you guys. We're going to keep coming back. The roster might change a little bit, make some trade deadline acquisitions, but no matter what, we're going to keep giving you guys the same product you're used to, and we hope that you enjoy. Keep sending that feedback at MBHL_official, at Vassal MBHL, and at Rayhan MBHL also has ones. Again, we might see some new faces. So, and otherwise, just hit us up on Facebook or in person. We love to hear it.
Yep.
Thanks so much, guys, for everything, and we will see you here next week. But until then,
Thank you.
Good night, MBHL.
thank you. Vassal's got it. I gave it to you 2 weeks ago.
Guy.
I thought you'd learn. You had a full week to figure one out.
I forgot my lines.